Pots, Pans, Pioneers. Today I'm going to be showing you a copycat of the Waffle House waffles. And waffles are made a variety of ways. I've had Belgian waffles before, and I've had all-American waffles. I've had Southern buttermilk waffles. I think there's a recipe for my Southern buttermilk waffles on my video log. But this is the copycat version of Waffle House. There's people that hate Waffle House, and there's people that love Waffle House. And I think each Waffle House has their own challenges, depending on what area of the country that you live in. But I know they're across the United States. But they do have a variety of really good meals, certainly good recipes. So let's get started. So the very first thing you need to do is combine your flour, salt, and baking powder, and a little bit of baking soda in a bowl and stir it. I'm not going to do these by hand. I'm going to do them in my mixer. I just find the waffle batter mixes better than me doing it by hand, and it's just a lot easier to do. So let's get started with that. We're going to need 1.5 cups of flour, this is just organic all-purpose flour. We're going to add some salt, and I'm using kosher salt. I do like a 1/2 teaspoon. I'll put this recipe on our blog page so you can print it off, so you don't have to worry about writing anything down. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And we're going to do a teaspoon of baking powder. And we're going to just, I'm going to put the wire beater on, and we're just going to stir this around. Oh, we have to plug it in. Sorry. I do that a lot because I don't keep this thing plugged in. Okay. Now we're going to move this aside, and I'm come back in a medium bowl. We're going to we're going to add an egg. And it's just a room temperature chicken egg right out of the farm, right off the farm here. We're going to beat the egg. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of shortening. We're going to beat that to mix that in with the egg and sugar. And this will be lumpy, so don't worry about it. Shortening will melt when it hits that skillet. You just want as little tiny lumps as possible so that you have an even spread of the shortening in the batter. And it'll break down even more once we add it to the mixer. We're going to do 1/4 cup of 1/2 and 1/2. And all these have different butter fats, so that's why they're using them. So 1/4 cup of half and half. I'm going to do 1/4 cup of buttermilk. And then we're going to do 1/2 cup of regular vitamin D milk, just whole milk. Okay. And all the milks are cold. They're not room temperature. They're all cold. And to this, we're going to add a little bit of vanilla. I think that will stand up. Probably a good teaspoon of vanilla. Right. Now we're going to bring our mixing bowl back and we're going to add this to our flour mixture. Flour, before we add in the other liquid, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter and we're going to mix it around. These are very, I would say, fattening waffles, based upon the fact that there's a lot of butter fat in them. Okay, we're going to get this mixed up and then we're going to add our liquid to this. Okay, we'll pour a little bit, we'll mix it in. Bit more in. And we'll get our bowl. Completed. Get the strainer, the batter off of the whisk here. All right, we're going to take our batter over to our waffle iron. And I'm going to preface by saying that this recipe has quite a bit of sugar in it, and sugar heats and caramelizes and can burn very easily. So you don't want your waffle iron all the way up on high. You want to keep it kind of low because your, waffle irons are typically, they're actually baking the dough. So you don't want it, this is not being fried, so you don't certainly want it up super high. So we're going to scoop this out onto our waffle iron and get them done. Okay, so and I also want to tell everybody that the recipe has a little hint at the bottom. You should at least refrigerate your dough or your batter for a couple of hours, and or even preface it by even putting it in overnight. We've not done that today, but if you want to try that method and see if that gives you a better result, go for it. But this is Sunday morning. I'm making breakfast and I don't have time to put them in for a couple hours or even overnight. So let's try to. I think they'll turn out just fine. I'm going to scoop. My waffle iron makes 4 waffles per side. And I'm going to fill each side with waffle. So this is 4 waffles. If you have the single waffle iron, just make sure you don't overfill it because it will come out of the sides. And I've got this on like a 2.5. Okay, we're going to close this down, and I've already sprayed both the iron to make sure that they don't stick. But we'll come back when they're our waffles. I think this recipe is probably going to make about 8 waffles, 7 or 8 waffles. All right, here are our waffles, our copycat Waffle House waffles. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll join us next time. Everybody find somebody to bless, and I'll see you again on the next video. Okay.
So these are all mine?
Yes.
Nothing like Aunt Jemima.
I have no idea why that's a problem.
Well, that's because you're not woke.
Okay.
How many are you going to have?
1.
Okay.
But you better try them
I've had them
before
before.
you pile on your plate. You've not had those before.
No. They'll be fine. They're good.
So you still want an egg?
Nah, we're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm going to
sure.
cut all that out in the video.